Assalamualaikum everyone, this is Aisha and welcome to the Dr. Gemini world. Today we are going to talk about hepatitis. Hepatitis it is defined as the inflammation of liver tissue due to hepatic injury that may be acute and chronic. Now discussing the causes of hepatitis. It is caused by hepatotropic viruses that are hepatitis A virus, B virus, C, D and E viruses. Another cause of the hepatitis is the non-hepatotropic viruses, which are Epstein-Barr virus, cytomegalovirus, yellow fever virus, and it may be autoimmune, drug, or toxin related. Now, separately discussing the causes of acute hepatitis. The causes of the acute hepatitis are hepatitis A, hepatitis E, that is associated with pregnancy, and hepatitis B and D. The most important causes of the acute hepatitis are hepatitis A and E, and in some areas, just like in Asian countries and Mediterranean countries, hepatitis B and D also present. Chronic hepatitis is mostly associated with hepatitis B virus and hepatitis C virus, but hepatitis C is a notorious cause of the chronic hepatitis. Now, acute hepatitis. So, it is defined as acute inflammation of liver by one of the hepatotropic viruses occurs suddenly and lasts for a few weeks. So, as it is caused mostly by hepatitis A virus and hepatitis B virus, we are discussing the characteristics of hepatitis A and then hepatitis E. So, hepatitis A virus is the small non-enveloped RNA piconavirus. It has icosahedral capsid. Icosahedral means 20 triangular faces. The capsid you can see here. The capsid shows the 20 triangular faces. Outbreaks most commonly in schools, overcrowded places. Hepatitis A vaccine effective in preventing infection. It can also be detected in serum and saliva. And viremia is transient, that's why blood-borne transmission is rare. It is not symptomatic as CD8 plus T cells play key role in injury. It sheds in stool 2 to 3 weeks before and 1 week after the onset of jaundice. And the reliable marker is IgM that appears with the onset of symptoms. Fecal shedding stops as IgM rises. IgM begins to decline in few months, that is followed by the appearance of IgG, and that provide lifelong immunity and prevent reinfection. So, diagnosis of hepatitis A is made by detection of serum IgM antibodies. Now, discussing the characteristics of hepatitis E virus, it is unenveloped positive stranded RNA herpes virus. It primarily occur in young to middle-aged adults. It is a zoonotic disease with animal reservoirs such as dogs, pigs, cats, and monkey. It results in high mortality rate in pregnant women. And virons are shed in a stool during acute illness. Before the onset of clinical symptoms, it can be detected as hepatitis E virus RNA and virons in stool and serum. After the onset of clinical illness, the serum aminotransferases will be elevated and IgM and anti-HEV will be elevated. When symptom resolved, IgM is replaced by IgG. So it is diagnosed by reduction of the IgM and IgG antibodies and PCR for hepatitis E virus RNA. Now discussing the morphology of the acute hepatitis. So grossly in mild acute hepatitis, the liver appears normal or slightly malted, but in massive hepatic necrosis, the liver may shrink greatly. Microscopically, lymphoplasmacytic mononuclear infiltrate in hepatitis A that is rich in plasma cells, and they are scant in acute hepatitis as compared to chronic hepatitis. And spotty necrosis or lobular hepatitis. When the parenchymal injury, when scattered throughout the lobule, so it will present as spotty necrosis or lobular hepatitis. Microscopically, it is shown as hepatocyte necrosis. Uh, that will be represented by empty cytoplasm, cell membrane rupture, hepatocytes dropout, macrophages mark the site of the dropout. And hepatocyte apoptosis. In hepatocyte apoptosis, the cell shrink, the nucleus pycnotic, fragmented, and there's a role of T cell. In severe acute hepatitis, confluent necrosis of hepatocyte is seen around the central vein, and in these areas, there may be cellular debris, collapse, reticulin fiber, congestion, hemorrhage, and variable inflammation. And with increasing severity, there is a central portal bridging necrosis that is followed by even worse parenchymal collapse. In some cases, there will be post-hepatic cirrhosis, which is presented when the area of the confluent necrosis replaced by scarring. So here you can see the liver grossly, and so on gross appearance, the liver show necrosis and spotty necrosis you can see here, and slightly malted, and it may shrink greatly. This is the pathological figure, and this according to this figure, and this figure shows the bridging necrosis, that is between the portal tract and the central vein. This is the bridging necrosis, and here you can see the inflammatory infiltrate around the bile duct. There is the ballooning degeneration, that is the hepatocytes increase in size, and then after they get apoptosed by macrophages. And you can see here the macrophage aggregates. This is the microscopic figure, and the arrows are pointing towards the apoptotic bodies. So now discussing the signs and symptoms according to the phases of acute hepatitis. So there are 4 phases. First, there is an incubation period. Second, a pre-icteric phase. Third is a icteric phase, and fourth is a post-icteric phase. So incubation period for hepatitis A is 4 weeks, for hepatitis B is 10 weeks, for hepatitis C 7 weeks, for D 6 weeks, and for hepatitis E 2 to 8 weeks. Now the pre-icteric phase comprises of anorexia, nausea, vomiting, malaise, fatigue, headache, and fever. An icteric phase, that is comprises of the 1 to 4 weeks of duration, and it is represented as jaundice, dark color urine, enlarged liver, and liver function test positive in icteric phase. And the post-icteric phase comprises of the duration of 2 to 12 weeks, and it is represented as recovery phase, and it is the most chronic phase, and it is mostly present in the fulminating hepatitis. So thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you like this, do subscribe, do share, and because sharing is caring. Live your life, live your dream, explore your potential, because you can do it. See you in the next tutorial, and inshallah in the next tutorial we will going to talk about hepatitis B and C in detail. So remember me in your prayers. Allah Hafiz.